In the mid-16th century, Japan was a land defined by deep political fragmentation and endless regional warfare. The central authority of the Muromachi shogunate had collapsed, leaving local warlords to struggle for survival. Oda Nobunaga was born in 1534 into this landscape of constant instability. He was the son of Oda Nobunaga, a warrior who ruled parts of the Owari province. As the legitimate heir, he was expected to maintain the status of the Oda clan in a competitive region. However, his youth was marked by behavior that many considered eccentric and even reckless. His peers often referred to him as the Fool of Owari due to his disregard for traditional manners. When his father died in 1551, the young successor faced immediate internal opposition. Powerful relatives and clan retainers questioned his ability to lead the province during such violent times. He spent several years fighting his own family members to consolidate his control over the clan. In 1556, he achieved a decisive victory against his younger brother at the Battle of Ino. This early struggle taught him that survival required absolute authority and a departure from old customs. By 1559, he had largely unified the Owari province under his singular command. The year 1560 brought an external threat that would determine the future of his ambitions. Imagie wa Yoshur Imotu, a powerful lord from the east, marched toward Kyoto with a massive army. The Imagie wa forces numbered over 25,000 men, far exceeding the small Oda army. Oda Nobunaga chose to launch a high-risk surprise attack instead of waiting for a siege. Under the cover of a violent thunderstorm, his forces struck the Imagie wa camp at Okuhazuyama. The sudden strike resulted in the death of Imagie wa Yoshur Imotu and the collapse of his army. This victory established Oda Nobunaga as a major power in central Japan. He secured his borders by forming an alliance with the young Tokugawa wa Ieyasu. In 1567, he turned his focus north and successfully captured the province of Mino. He moved his headquarters to the strategic castle of Gifu, a name inspired by ancient history. The name Gifu signaled his intent to unify the entire nation under his military rule. He began using a seal with the phrase Tenka Fu Bu, which means the realm under military rule. In 1568, he marched to the capital of Kyoto to support Ashur-Kage Yoshiraki. By installing him as the 15th shogun, Nobunaga gained a legitimate political platform. However, the relationship between the warlord and the shogun quickly became strained. Nobunaga issued regulations that severely restricted the independent power of the shogunate. This led to the formation of multiple alliances designed to stop his rapid expansion. He faced combined threats from the Azai clan, the Asakura clan, and powerful religious groups. In 1570, his forces fought a bloody and costly engagement at the Battle of Angawa. The resistance against his rule was not only military but also deeply rooted in religious authority. In 1571, he took the radical step of attacking the temple complex on Mount Hiei. The destruction of the temples showed his refusal to acknowledge any power higher than his own. By 1573, he finally expelled the last shogun, ending the Muromachi shogunate forever. This act cleared the way for a new administrative system that prioritized centralized control. Military technology became a key element in his strategy to defeat remaining regional rivals. At the Battle of Nagie-Shirno in 1575, he faced the elite cavalry of the Takuta clan. He deployed a massive force of musketeers protected by defensive wooden barriers. The organized use of matchlock firearms decimated the charging cavalry and changed warfare in Japan. This victory proved that modern technology could overcome traditional warrior tactics. Economic reforms were also central to his vision for a stable and prosperous nation. He introduced the Ra-Kuichi-Ra-Kuzie policy to create free trade zones in his territories. By removing merchant monopolies and highway checkpoints, he encouraged the movement of goods. These policies weakened the financial base of his enemies and enriched his own government. In 1576, he began constructing Azuchi Castle on the shores of Lake Biwa. Azuchi was a magnificent fortress that served as a symbol of the new unified era. The 7-story central tower was decorated with gold and vibrant art to display his power. It was the first castle in Japan designed for both military defense and political ceremony. He also welcomed European missionaries and traders, showing a keen interest in foreign knowledge. By 1580, he had subdued the Ishiyama Hanganji after a decade of continuous conflict. The end of this long war removed the final obstacle to his control over central Japan. In early 1582, his forces destroyed the Ta-Kuta clan during the Koshu conquest. With the east and central regions secure, he prepared to expand his rule into the west. In June of 1582, he traveled to Kyoto and stayed at the Han-no-ji temple. On the morning of June 2, his general Kuchimitsu Haida launched a sudden rebellion. The temple was surrounded and set on fire by the insurgent troops during the early hours. Trapped within the burning building, Oda Nobunaga died at the age of 48. The news of his sudden death caused a brief period of chaos throughout his territories. His life was a series of innovations that dismantled the medieval structures of old Japan. He consistently prioritized practical solutions and technological advancement over tradition. The administrative and economic foundations he built remained for centuries after his death. Historical analysis often focuses on the contrast between his violent methods and his vision. He was a man who understood that a unified nation required a complete break from the past. His presence forced the country to move toward a more centralized and organized state. The ruins of Azuchi and the memory of Han-no-ji remain significant symbols in Japanese history. His story is one of relentless ambition and a refusal to be bound by the norms of his age. Though his journey ended in fire, the path to a unified Japan was now clear for his successors. He remains the architect of a new order that ended a century of civil war. His influence on the political map of Japan is visible even in the modern era. The transition from chaos to stability began with his first victory in the province of Owari. He was a figure who walked through the darkness of war to seek a new light for his people. His legacy is a complex mixture of military brilliance and radical administrative reform. We are left to consider the nature of a leader who changed the destiny of a nation. Oda Nobunaga stands as a bridge between the medieval era and the modern age. His actions ensured that the fragmentation of the past would never return in the same way. The 16th century was a time of fire, and he was the flame that reshaped the world. Thank you for watching Legends Great Figures. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a like.